Vocal production. What do we know about vocal production? Well, what we know about vocal production is that anything goes, right? Things used to be much simpler back in the day when you only had one track. And when you had one track to record with, then it was pretty easy because you couldn't really do a lot of vocals, right? You just had your lead vocal and that was it. And then we moved to having multi-track. It started off with, we had the reels that had one track, two track, four tracks. What's up, X.E.L.O? What's up, man? Man, you can't get off. Hey, man, you can't keep coming in the stream, man. You streaming too, man. You can't get off your stream to come over, man. I don't want to take you from your stream. Your stream started at 8 o'clock, right? You know that stream's supposed to be going for at least a good hour, an hour and a half. So, X, I don't know what I'm doing here. I got two streams going on at the same time. Never done that before, but I wanted to see if it will work. But it is actually working so far anyway. But yeah, so you had the reel, and then all of a sudden, you had your multi-track. You had your one track, two track, four tracks, 8 tracks, 24 tracks. When that happened, oh my God, that was just so amazing. People were able to do a lot of great things with production and vocal production. So back then, if you had to overdub, we got the term overdub from, you actually had to sometimes record over and over and over again on the same part. So if you wanted multiple harmonies, you would record on the same track if you didn't have enough tracks. But now we live in a world where you have unlimited audio tracks, MIDI tracks. So you can do a lot of great things, which leads me to the power of being able to do a cover song. Now, before I even started doing like Cakewalk tutorials, I'm bringing this down some because I feel like I'm going to clip. Before I started doing Cakewalk tutorials, I used to do a lot of cover songs with this program called acapella. And if you know about acapella, it's an app that you can get on your phone. I think I still have it. I think it's made by Mix Play Post. I think that's the name of the company. They have various different softwares that you can use. And I got that acapella app. And what was great about it, it was a sample for not that many submissions. Oh man, don't feel bad about that. Hey, you know what? You do it so consistently so people are seeing it. You know how it is. It's like they'll be like, oh, I may not make it to this one, but I know he's going to do another one another week or another month or so. So yeah, I understand how that is. But I'm glad that you're doing those, man. Those are very helpful. How you been, X? Sorry, I'm on this side. You might not see X, but I'm in another chat. So I feel like I'm chatting multiple different places. This is really weird to me, for real. But X, how you doing? How's life, man? How's the family, the kids, the wife, all of that good stuff? It's all good. It's all good. That's what I love to hear. It is all good. All right, what was I talking about? Okay, it's going to be one of those just kind of organized / unorganized live chats today because my mind is like feeling free because I just feel free because I am out of school, and for a week anyway. As you know, my main job is I teach, I work at a school, and it's pleasant to be there and it's fun to learn and to share what I learned with other students, but it's also good to get away. So this week, I have taken on a challenge of posting every single day this week. So now this is the first post for Monday, basically, but I do have some other posts, and I sent out a message earlier talking about that. I'm glad that everyone is good. X, I just heard I'm walking back and forth or going back and forth between two things. Where else are you streaming? I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and X right now, I think. But I'm also streaming twice on YouTube. I'm streaming through the mobile app, and I'm also streaming through Restream through. So I got 2 streams going on right now, and I don't know how that's possible, but we'll see what happens when I get ready to shut both of them down if they actually work. But yeah, so I'm just doing some good things. All right, in my mobile chat, it says, EAS Customer Pearl, are you still willing to help mix and master a track of email? Yeah, definitely, man. Send it to just the norm. What is it? I always forget my email. Just the norm LLC at gmail.com. Okay. JUSTDANORM as in mother LLC at gmail.com. So yeah, definitely. The main reason why I started doing like mixing was, well, for one thing, it's just always good to learn, get familiar with different styles of music and different things, different mixing sessions, because sometimes you might mix something small or you might mix something that's huge when somebody sends you 200 or 300 tracks. Hopefully it's nothing that major because that's a lot of tracks to deal with, but it's always good to do. And then also I really was trying to create more vocal templates, which is the reason why I was so interested in having people send me stuff to be mixed. Now, it's not, come to think of it, I might be in trouble. I think it was somebody I was supposed to mix a long time ago that I didn't do yet. But, oh, you know what? I had to send it back to them because I think they lost the files. So, but it's going to be, it's not a quick turnaround. So if this is something you trying to get mixed like next week and you're trying to release it, no. It's going to be probably, a few weeks because my schedule is normally retarded crazy. But, or if you, book a mixing, not a mixing, but if you book a one-on-one with me, we can mix it and I can show you how I'm mixing it while I'm mixing it. So whichever. But yeah, no rush. Okay, cool. Well, if it's no rush, yeah, then definitely send it to me. Yeah, then we go from there. Just kind of give me an idea. Send me some reference tracks of what you're really looking for. And then we'll get into it. So here I am in a vocal production that I had did. Now, okay, so I can, well, you all see my face. If you want to see what I'm actually doing in Cakewalk, you might want to jump on the other stream. Yeah, the other stream is up too as well. You should be able to see it on my channel. All right, how we switch back for? Let's go here. Let's go here. All right. So here I am in Cakewalk by Bandlab. Now, how do you go about doing your vocals? That's what I want to know. Let me know in the comments how you go about doing your vocals. Hey, James, Antoine, on the mobile phone chat. How do you go about doing your vocals? Are you a person that when you sing straight through? Like I sing the verse, I sing the bridge, I sing the chorus, I sing the vamp straight through. Maybe I do some punch in, punch out here and there. Are you a person that says, hey, I take it phrase by phrase, I do a lot of comping? Are you a person that says, you know what, I'm cool with 4 tracks, lead vocal, 3-part harmony, that's all I need? Or are you a person that says, man, I got to put every single part of my vocal on a different track? So I'll put all the lead for the verse on one track, put the lead for the chorus on one track, the lead for the bridge on one track. So I have separate tracks for everything. All the ahs on different track, all the oohs, all the little, yeah, all that good stuff. All the ad-lib candy, as I call it. They're all on different tracks. Is that you? Are you the person that does that? Well, I'm going to tell you, like in the past, I'm starting to lean towards that. But in the past, like when I was growing up, when I was, making songs and stuff, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, I was just, really, I guess, put back into the old times where you only had, even though I had multi-tracks, but Cakewalk did have multiple tracks then. But I grew up using a 4-track recorder, Tascam, and I grew up using an 8-track recorder. So when I had those, you couldn't put that many vocal parts. And when I wanted to do more than 3 background parts, maybe I had to do like, I had to overdub on one part, because you could record like over a part on one track or whatever. Or I had to do less instrumentation. So maybe if I had 5 vocal parts I wanted to do, well, now I got to do maybe drums on one track, bass. You had my little boss. We had a little boss. I don't even remember which one it was now, DR or something, little drum machine. And then I do the beats and stuff like that. And then those were the beats. And then I just, pop it in, you press play, press record. And there you go. You got that on track 1. Then track 2 would be my keyboard part. And then maybe track 3 might be a bass or something like that. Or I might play key bass on the keys. So I went about doing it that way. But now that you got this technology where you could do everything, and have multiple tracks, So here's the project I'm looking at. This is Angel Numbers / 10 Toes by Chris Brown. I just decided to do this. I really love the song. I really been getting more into 11:11 album. That was until Justin Timberlake dropped his new album. So now I've been really into Justin Timberlake. But so let's just talk about it a little bit. I've got how many tracks on here? So I got 26 tracks, right? And this is all just vocals. This is just acapella vocals, all right? Normally, if I had took this a step farther, I would have did acapella drums, acapella, bass guitar part, acapella. I do have a guitar part in here, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Now, being that I don't have perfect pitch, all right? Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Oh, thank you, James. I'm just saying that. Yeah, listen to James. Listen to James. You know what he's saying. So, I'm sorry, that's in a mobile. So, those are any other chat. I'm sorry. This is so crazy. When was I going to cut this mobile one off? I said I was going to cut it off, but I hate to cut people off on this one. Anyway, let me get back into it. So, I do not have perfect pitch, right? I play keyboards, I play bass, play guitar, play some of everything. I do not have perfect pitch, but I have great relative pitch, right? So, to give you a disclaimer, when I started this, I had this electric piano part, and the main point of having this was just so I can think about the bass notes. So that's actually what I started with, was the bass part. So let me solo that. Hopefully I got sound, because let me know if y'all can hear that, X or whoever's on this chat, whoever's in that chat, let me know if you can hear that. I know you all can't hear it, but you can if I bring this up, maybe. Going to this. Okay, so maybe you can't. Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. All right. So hopefully those that are on the mobile version, you go to the other part. So anyway, I'm going to shut the mobile version off. So if you're on the mobile version, James, EAS Custom, you still here, go ahead and go to the other side. I'm going to end the live on the mobile version. It was fun. I just wanted to see how it worked. So I have this electric piano part, and this is basically my bass drum part. Not bass drum, bass vocal part, or my bass guitar part, rather. So I'm very big on trying to stack as much as possible, but sometimes I really don't do stacks. Okay, cool, James. I'm glad it sounds good. I just had to look at it and make sure that it was cool. So about this bass part, right? It's only 2 bars, right? Here's the original. It's going to be on the right side, which I record. Okay, but let's hear that without any effects, so we can just really hear what it is. Uh-oh, you know what? I still got effects going on. Where do I got effects going to? I've got, what is it? Something up here. What do I have this going to? Oh, duh. I got effects on the console. Let me look at that. Is this it? Padvox? Yeah, let me take the vocals off of there. I'm sorry. I forgot I had vocals on. I had EQ and Waves Tune on this low part to kind of help me out a little bit. I use the Waves Tune just a little bit so that way I can make sure I was on my game. Singing low is very hard, especially when you're like a tenor or a second tenor like me, basically. Hopefully you shouldn't hear any effects now. Doom, do, do, do. Now, let me give you another disclaimer. I don't know why I keep saying the word. The word of the day is disclaimer. I keep saying that. I recorded this completely while there was a lot of noise going on. So the fact that I was able to get it to sound this good, and I use this microphone right here. So this is, if you're not familiar, this is my Behringer. I forgot what this is. XM 1800S or something like that. It's a very cheap mic. Like I said, I talk about it all the time. But lately, I switched to using this. I used to use my condenser mic quite a bit. Then I did a video about a mic that I got from Temu, so I might use that one day. But I use this mic. I normally would put my windscreen or my filter on here, and normally I would take this windscreen off. But I did not do that this time. So this time I sung completely into this. You know, this is great for talking, but it muffles the sound. So, but anyway, it worked. So you might hear some noise in the background. I mean, I think the TV was on. I mean, it was noisy. But I was able to still record it because I was like, man, forget it. I'm just going to record it anyway. So it just goes to show you, you know, with a little tender care, you can definitely get your vocal production to sound good. It's going to sound even better if you're recording in a good environment where there is not a lot of noise. So then I recorded that. I recorded that one time. Then I recorded it again. So here's the left side. Doom, do, do, do. Now, before I bounced this to clip, when I sung these, I think I had I faded in, faded out, and then I bounced it to clip. And then I did is I just basically take control, you know, CTRL on your keyboard, and I just control and pasted it, you know, wherever I needed to line up at. And that's what I did. And I just, once I did one section though, actually, let me rewind. So I recorded all for one section. So, and then I labeled it with the arranger track. If you're not familiar with the arranger tool, it's really easy to use. All you got to do is just make sure you're on the arranger, and then you can just drag right over at the top and name it whatever you want to name it. So once I got one section done, and that's what I like to do. If I know my background vocals are going to be copied or they're the same, I don't need to keep singing them over and over again. Back in the day, you had to sing them over and over again, you know, till you get it right, or, you know, if you had to sing it through the whole entire song. But this time, you can just copy and paste it. So, which is the beauty of this. So I got this bass part, and like I said, I got waves tune on there just a little bit to try to change. I think I had to change one or two notes because I was going a little flat. Originally when I recorded this, I had the first note. The first note is, I think it's D. Doom, doom. No, I'm sorry. Doom, doom. It's supposed to be F. What is it? Yeah, D, doom. Yeah, okay, so it's a D, which I was right the first time, I think. So D, B, but originally I was singing the low D. Do, 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 do. So you get that do. It doesn't really sound like D. But here's the trick. You can always sing it higher and then tune it down. I didn't have to do that because I realized that when I listened to the song, the actual D was an octave up, and I was able to sing it up higher. That first note was higher, and I was like, oh, cool, that works out perfect. But another trick is to sing it, and I see a lot of cats do this all the time. Jacob Collier will do this. You sing it not at the pitch that it's supposed to be at. You sing it up. So you sing it up maybe a third or a second, something that's kind of close nearby, and then you just lower the pitch, you know, lower to whatever you need it to be. Of course, sometimes that might change the format of it, but that's what you have, like Alter Boy, Little Alter Boy, or some other type of plugins that you can use. But for the most part, if it's like a second away or a third away, it's not going to sound too much crazy. It's not going to sound crazy, like you going down a complete octave. So anyway, we got left and right. I got this Q3 on here. I don't even really use. I've got the Waves plugins, but there's a lot of them that I don't use. And I just pulled this out, and you're going to be like, oh, why did you pull that out? I pulled it out because it was just there. And I get overwhelmed when I have a lot of plugins because, for one, you spend more time trying to look for plugins, and you waste time on the production part. That's why sometimes I don't even really worry about EQing until the very end of everything. But some people like to EQ as they go along. So here I'm just kind of doing high pass, you know, filter, basically rolling off some of the lows. Got a little low boost in like around 138 hertz. Yeah. And then I did like a little cut right here at 521. Could I please get a good sounding vocal with Behringer C1? Heck yeah. Yeah, you can get a good sounding vocal. If I'm using a $10 microphone and I got a decent sound out of it, I mean, is it going to be, you know, like okay, let me rewind. Let me rewind because I'm going to make somebody mad. I already know. Use whatever you have, okay? I got to put this on big screen for this. Use whatever you have. If you got a mic that's like this, if you got a computer mic, don't let that be the reason why you stop production or stop recording because you're like, oh, but I got to get a $200 mic first. No. Is your quality going to get better as you keep going? Yes. But if you learn how to get a really good sound out of a really cheap mic, imagine when you get a for real mic. Like, you're just going to be able to go in that thing and just tweak it. You might not even have to tweak anything. You might be like, this all I got to do is boo, 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 and you'll be done. You know, sometimes mics don't really need any processing at all because they're good mics. This mic right here has a lot of low end in it. So there's some things that I just had to roll off. Sometimes I'm not really happy with I like the sound when I'm talking, you know, for videos. Was I really happy with the sound for recording? I probably could have did better. I mean, I got condenser mics on the floor and, you know, omnidirectional mics. I mean, I could have did that, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Would I spend another 10 to 15 minutes hooking up another mic when I got this one right here? No, not for this. Now, if it was something I was really trying to get a different sound on, like if you're going specifically for a certain sound, then yeah, you might say, hey, I need to get a ribbon mic, or I need to get this, you know, this Neumann U87 or something like that, because you're trying to get that sound. But there are better mics than the U87. Yes, I did say it. There's better mics than U87 that are cheaper than the U87. Okay. So don't get stuck on what type of mic you have. If you got a mic, use it, you know, yes. So to answer your question, yeah, you can get a good sound with the C1. I'm all for Behringer products. People may hate them. I don't even really care if you hate Behringer. I've been using Behringer for over 20 years. So I like Behringer. So I'm not going to lie with you. So do what you got to do. Now, okay. Another part of that, you know, then I'm going to get back into the video. Or get back, not the video, but get back into this lesson on this tutorial or rather. Another part of that is that, does the sound good to you? So sometimes we get stuck on, well, I needed to sound like, you know, Lil Durk. You know, I needed to sound like this person, or I needed to sound like this artist. Question is, if you're going for that, that's good. But the real question is, do you want it to sound like that, or you just want it to sound good? And does it sound good to you? Because I was looking at a podcast, and the mixing engineer was talking about how they were working with an artist, you know, well-known artist, but the artist originally was recording his own vocals, and he was using, you know, a cheaper microphone and a cheaper interface. But because he used it for so long recording his own music, he eventually really liked the sound of it, and it fit his voice. So now when you go to a professional studio, you know, and they got more gear and stuff, it's like all these other cats was trying to do this and that, but you need to make it sound like this. And he said, no, I wanted to sound the same way I had. I just wanted to be better. So then you got to start trying to think, okay, well, how can I keep what you had, but enhance it? So don't ever feel like you got to just do what everybody else is doing. You do your own thing. So, you know, anyway, I don't know who that was for, somebody out there. Brother Boldly Music Official. Sorry, I got this water. I'm running out of water. I use Cakewalk and I want to learn more how to mix. Well, that's what we're focusing on right now. We're actually focusing on mixing. So yeah, so Q3, all I did was just copy Q3 mono, copy the waves tune. Once I had to set up, copy the same way basically. So those two together, we heard it, right? Now you will see I do some fade ins. I kind of went back and did some more fade ins. I advise you do fade in, fade outs on all your vocals, because sometimes you hear clipping. Some reason I'm hearing clipping on this too as well, but it might be because I copied and pasted the way I did. So, and you can hear my daughter's playing a video game in the background. I can hear it in the controller. It's right there. I don't know if you can hear it or not. So anyway, we got bass. Now I didn't take the time I did label them, but I didn't take the time to color code or anything like that, because when I'm in production mode, I don't really feel like I don't have time to be trying to color code anything. Color coding is great if you're a person, you're sending it to another person to mix, then yeah, heck yeah, you want to go ahead and color code everything, label everything, make sure everything's organized, great. Or if you get to the point where you're dealing with 200 tracks or more, you know, or even 50 tracks or more, then yeah, you might want to kind of bust things out and categorize them and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to do all of that. We've got this So we got that. We got second baritone. So let's hear those with the bass. Doom, do, do. Okay, and once again, I sung it, twice, but all I did was sing it just this one time. Is it perfect? And the good thing about I'm learning more about background vocals is that your background vocals don't have to be perfect. And what I mean by perfect is you don't have to feel like, well, this part I sung was really in tune. This part really needs to be in tune with that one. No, sometimes the difference is the subtleties and difference of intonations makes it so much better. Because, let me switch this back because you probably can't see anything I'm doing. When you dub yourself, or even when you're singing with another person, think about it. Your tones are different. Even though you can match tone, you're still going to be sounding different. And you still are never perfectly in tune. Like they say, if I play that note and I sing it, well, who's to say? Is the piano out of tune or am I out of tune if I'm not quite where it is? Now, some people say, oh, no, you out of tune. But another lesson for another day is that some believe that this keyboard is really not in tune. But that's another story. If you go back to the older days of when they came into creating string instruments like this, there's an instrument called an archiphone. I don't know if you heard of it before or not. I think it's archiphone. We actually have one at the college I went to, Webster University, and there was only like 3 or 4 in the world. But that particular one splits every note up into like 4 or 5 notes. So it'll be like, like C, semi-sharp, C sharp, C semi, whatever, whatever. So there's like all these quarter tones that go in between it. And that, they used to say, was really more in tune. So anyway, that's another story. But just don't feel like you got to make it all perfect. Those subtleties, that's what the mixing and compression is for. But I only did 2 vocals. Now, most of the time, people may do, 4. So 4 is typically the number. Then you might pan left and right, and then you might do 2 kind of maybe in the middle or 2 kind of sandwich. So if you got your lead, then it's almost like you got 5, 5-part harmony, but even though it's 1 note. So, or just 5 parts rather. So I got second baritone. That's that. We heard that with this. Let's go look at the first bari. Ooh, ooh. Okay, and you can notice that mix-wise, I noticed that the bass vocal is like louder, way louder than the other parts, and that's intentional. So when you're mixing, you can do mixing in a track view, or I did in a console view. Normally I'll have, if you got split screen, it really helps, or 2 screens rather, because then you can put your tracks here and you can put your console view on another screen. I would advise you to definitely get more than 1 screen, even if it's just a little cheap screen from the thrift store or something like that. It does really help, so that way you can move quicker instead of having to, look at the bottom and have it down here. I hate when the console's down here at the bottom. It irks me. But anyway, that's another story. So we've got these parts, and then what do we got? We got the tenor. Second tenor. Okay, so just kind of filling in, and the whole thing I'm thinking about is just chords. Now, on this original song, it's really like arpeggiated guitar, but I just said forget that. I'm just going for floor chords, as we call it in the keyboard. Okay, so I'm looking, I'm talking about not labeling stuff. This says second tenor, and then this says second tenor, but they are 2 different parts. So let's go through, take this out so we can hear these upper voices. Okay, so this is, so let's listen to this part. I think that's a straight note. And what I did is I probably just copied the part in there. I copied another track and I just forgot to name it. I still got the bass on. Yeah, I'm like, why am I hearing the bass still? Yeah, so I'm just holding it at the end. And then I think this one is, maybe I'm holding it. Let's hear this. Yeah, this is a straight note. And I did want it flat a little bit at the bottom, at the end, but. Okay, you can notice that even that second part came in a little late. So when I recorded all these, then sometimes, you know, you might be a little ahead of the beat, behind the beat. So I normally would go through and kind of get them to line up a little bit better. But it's okay too as well, like timing wise. You don't have to have all your vocals come in at the same time. Especially in oohs and ahs, like it's even almost better when you, like a piano player, you know, we're never gonna just be doing like, you know, okay, even though those are not the records, but I might be doing, okay, I might do some rolls on my piano, and that's kind of what I'm going for vocal wise too as well sometimes. Okay, and what I'm noticing now is that I'm saying, you know, difference in syllables too as well. I'm saying who on these other parts, and I'm just my first time really thinking about it. I'm saying do on the first tenor part, which is really weird. Okay, so we got that, and then what's up here? Okay, so that's all for that part, and then let's see, what can I do? Let's go back down here. We'll turn that back on. So I'm using on this bus, okay, this is bus D, which is called Pad Vox. It's like keyboard pad basically, and I'm using CLA 76. I don't even want to really talk about the settings. I did use this preset called Vocal Med or Vocal Medium, but I think I tweaked it after that myself. So it's just adding some subtle compression to it. Then I'm using CLA vocals. I've really grown fond of this CLA vocals. I really love it. But so I'm doing the bass, lower range, and I kind of dipped it down. I dipped the roof, which is kind of like a shelf basically. And I dipped that some. I don't have any compression on this, and I'm using chamber reverb, which is really, really heavy and long, and then I have an 1/8 note delay, and then I have a wide force of pitch, which is really more like the stereo depth to widen it. So when I put that back on, let's put this back on, that, and let's just solo those. Let's just stop it right here. So then it gives this. Okay, and if you notice, so I got this pad bus. Is this the right one? Okay, well, that's loud. So when you have a bus, so basically what I did is I actually took all of these tracks, you know, shortcut you can do is, let's say I wanted to put first tenor, both first tenor parts on their own bus. If I left click on them, right, hold control, while I'm holding control, I can go down here. It could be on 14 or 15, and right here is set to pad Vox. But if I wanted to move it to a different Vox, I can say move to bus E. And then you're going to notice that when I click on 15 at the bottom, I know that's very hard to see. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me put on my magnifying glass so you can see that, what I'm talking about. So yeah, here at the bottom. So while I'm holding control, I pressed the output and changed it to bus E. So you can see now that this is 15, it's on bus E. And then when I go back to click on 14, it is also on bus E. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to switch back to where they were. Holding control down. I'm going to click 15. They're both highlighted. I'm going to go down here while holding control down. Click on output. Change it back to pad Vox, because that's where it's really supposed to be. All right, so that's really cool. And then I'll exit out of that. So the good thing about having that bus is that I can do a whole bunch of stuff to this. If I get my vocals the way I really want them, but I want to put extra plugins, there's no way in the world I would go about putting, you know, CLA vocals on all of these tracks. That's way too much. So you can put it on your bus. Then you can do a whole bunch of stuff to that bus. You can put separate EQ and stuff like that. You can automate the EQ. I mean, that's another story if you want to go more advanced. As far as the levels of each of these tracks, I have most of them are they zeroed out, I think. Yeah, so most of them are zeroed out, and I may have brought some down. Okay, let's bring the console view over so you can see it for a second. All right, on this console view, another cool thing that you can do is, you probably already know it anyway, but you can group tracks together. So say, for instance, I want to click this track, that track, those two tracks or whichever. I can right click on them, and then I can go to group. All right, and I made them some dark purple. So now when I move these tracks, they'll move together. And if you need to do that, I would advise you to do that. Definitely do grouping. Of course, sending it to a bus works as well but and Control Z. Okay. All right, kind of think that was cool. I don't know exactly where they were, but I'm gonna ungroup them because I don't want them grouped. I just did that to do it. Right click, clear group. Oops, clear group. There we go. So now they're fine, and I think they were all good. So let's move on. All right. So we've got this, got the pad, got some other parts coming later on. You can even see like some of the cleaning up. Normally I clean tracks up really well, but like this hangover, normally I would have cut, cropped it, you know, faded in, but sometimes I forget to do stuff like that. So make your tracks look a little cleaner than mine. It's always good for sound wise. This melody line, let's talk about it, which is really supposed to be a guitar part. Oh, I'm sorry, can't hear it right now because I got. Let's just solo that. Sorry, I had that bus still soloed. All right, and this. Okay, so let's talk about what I have on it. I try to do some crazy things with this. First of all, at the top, I'm using a Pro channel on this one. I have an EQ, and I did, of course, a lot of high pass filter, really rolling off a lot of lows. This frequency range right here is kind of where that pitch is for that guitar part, but I kind of dipped that down some. I don't know why I did this right here. It was one frequency that I probably didn't like, so I really did a low dip right here, and then the rest of that's fine. Let's see, I got some tube on there. I don't even really, you know, sometimes I put stuff on, don't really need it, but I put it on anyway. Tube, console, emulator channel, really should be at the bottom, but that's fine. It can be right here. It should be at the bottom. Then I have, okay, let's move that down. That's probably gonna make a big difference too as well. That's still pretty cool, but all right, so we got the EQ, and then I got the tube, and then I got the FX change. So I'm using the M auto pitch to not really put it in tune. Well, no, actually I am tuning it a little bit too as well, because originally, let's hear this without any of these effects on. Okay, so you can see like some parts of it were fine. I had vibrato that I was doing with my voice, so that's my voice basically. And when I use the M auto pitch, I use it to just, once again, this is a free plugin, so you all can definitely check it out. The production is pretty cool. Chromatic, kept it on that, but I mainly wanted to use this for a format change. This Cakewalk back, I thought they were doing something crazy, trying to charge people. Did they have a change? Oh, I could see just the norm. Been a while. What's up, Tony? Cakewalk hasn't left yet, man. You know, this software still works. So just because they coming out with the new software, this one will still work. It just won't receive updates or support anymore. But Yeah, Next and Sonar will be coming out pretty soon. Um, yeah, I mean, as far as they do have like a little membership thing. I'm not all sure what that entails, but I'm prepared for it. And when it happens, I'm gonna make the change because like I said, I've been a Cakewalk user forever. Not to say I won't use other dolls, but I think it's just good to have multiple dolls anyway. And if you know a doll, like I said, you got to think about this: is spending money on something that you're familiar with more important than getting something that you're not familiar with? So it's like one of those things like time is money. So if you're wasting time trying to get to know a brand new software that you don't really know at all and everything is different, then you're wasting money basically. So if you can get a software, and if it's, I don't know what it's going to be, but I mean, if it was something like they come out with a flat fee and they say, hey, $100 for the software, cool. If it's $200, $300 for the software, that's cool. I mean, I still might buy it. If it's something like where they're saying $5, $10, $15 a month for it, you get all the future updates and they bring in a whole lot of new things into it, because since it's really linked with Bandlab is releasing a whole lot of new features. And actually I got a video that I'm going to drop tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, dealing with stem separation. So, stem separation has been the biggest thing right now. FL Studio got it. I think X even did a video about it. Sorry, I keep bumping my mic. Did a video about it. And Bandlab actually has its own stem separation. So I got a video that I'm really anxious to show you because I think it's going to really help. But since Bandlab is bringing out all these new features, those features are going to be working with the Cakewalk. So everything is going to be bulked together. Bandlab, of course, always has mastering, AI mastering. So I think everything is going to start to get better. I really think they trying to take their time to roll it out the right way. I just hope that it's not something that happens like what happened with Waves when Waves came out with their subscription thing. Because some people, it was like, they were mad about it. Some people were like, heck yeah, I can get Waves, all these plugins for $15 a month or $20 a month. So, but like I said, until that happens, you're going to see me still making tutorials on this stuff, because this stuff that I'm sharing right now, it doesn't matter what DAW you're in. Okay. This stuff works for any DAW. So vocal production works for any DAW. So anyway, I shifted the forming on here, and so it's like +5, and what that kind of does is makes it sound more tonality wise, more like a higher end instrument, more like almost like a female basically. I changed the whip too as well, so that's kind of, I got that. And then what else do I have? I got that, got the reverb on here, which I made really wet. It's on the hall. I'm not even really tripping off the time and all that kind of stuff, but just kind of play with it. A lot of times I'm just playing with stuff to see if I like what it sounds like. And if I like what it sounds like, then I'll use it. So, and then I got compression at the very end of it. And then a console emulator, of course. So you heard that. Turn it back on. All right, so, and it does make it give more width, and just makes it more stereo conscious, I put it like that. Gotta say, Waves, Tune, and Cakewalk are really working out for me really well. That's good, man. I'm glad they're working out for you. Like I said, once you get something that works, it works. Just stick with it. So we got the melody, then we got the vocal, lead vocal. So let's talk about what I'm doing on lead vocal, because I'm still kind of playing around with it. So like I said, I did this all in one night. I mixed it all in one night, and then I made the video all in one night. So now we got 1 million tracks. So now we got 1 million tracks, LOL. I only use 4 to 5 tracks for chorus, verses, and ad-libs, and maybe dubs. Okay. But that's a decent amount. Like I said, I used to use 4 tracks, period. Like anything, but I said, it depends on what you're going for. Now with so many effects, you might want to, mix the verse one way. And wow. Justin Timberlake's album, I'm listening to it so much. And I love listening with headphones because I hear all the nuances of things. But even when I'm listening on in my car or whatever riding, I'm thinking, okay, cool. He's dubbing right there. Cool. He's there. You can hear harmony, like, oh, first time it's just 2-part harmony. The second time, oh, it's another part that comes in. Oh, and then by the end of the chorus, there's a fourth part that comes in. Oh, there's there's this effect. There's distortion on this part. So when you have all these little creative decisions, it helps to have everything on separate tracks, because then you can do stuff like you can make your first verse be very in your face, no reverb, just dry signal, like right here, but crispy. And then the second verse, you can put more effects on it, kind of bring it in the back some. So there's so many things that you can do for it. I use 8-tracks, talk, boxing, and beatboxing. Okay. Yeah, like I said, hey, use what you can use. Now, normally I don't really use this many tracks, but I just did it. Acapella, I feel like you got to use a lot of tracks if you're going, it's emphasis on vocals. So, yeah. So, but I've done songs where my template, I have a little Cakewalk template I use. It's only 6 tracks, so it's like 5-part harmony and then the lead, whatever the lead is. So, and I started to do that this way, but I just decided to say, hey, let me go ahead and copy the tracks and pan left and right. So on this lead, sorry, I got something in my mouth. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so I'm using, am I using anything on here? No, nothing on this side. Nothing on the Pro channel. I'm just using a Gralian. I'm using this. This is a free version of it because I kind of like the way this one works for like an auto-tune effect. Not that I really needed it, but it's just this song, the way the song really is. I mean, it's auto-tune, Chris Brown, but so I used it some, and you probably asking, why don't you use auto-tune? Well, I have auto-tune, and I always talk about it, but for some reason, every time I do an upgrade or update on Cakewalk, my auto-tune stops working. And the last time that it stopped working, I just never, as simple as contacting Ontaris and say, hey, it's not working, and then they'll fix the license for it. But, sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. It's happened so much now that it's making me wonder, like, is it Ontaris that's having the issue, or is it Lander? Because I bought the plugin through Lander, through like a little monthly membership. You can get the plugin. It was like $5 a month for 12 months or something like that. I don't know. The auto-tune access. So I'm going to get back into using it. I do like auto-tune, but for the most part, I don't ever really need to use tuning. I would rather be able to really tweak everything. So Waves Tune works really good for that, for being able to tweak it. But this case, I just put the Gralian on, and yeah, I like it. And then, of course, I'm using, y'all need to get it, In Your Face. What they say? Hold on, let me go in. Let me go in. In Your Face. And you know whose plugin that is, or this is my preset. Yeah, I'm using it. Awesome. Okay, so these plugins are all with the Wave subscription, but they're with the basic subscription, so you don't need the biggest one. You just need the smallest package or whatever. So I got that on there. I really wanted to use it on here because I kind of getting used to it. As you know, I used to use, well, as you may or may not know, I used to use Waves. Boy, I can't do no edits on here. I used to use Waves a long time ago, probably 15, 20 years ago. All right, because that's what was on our computer. A lot of Waves plugins, a lot of free plugins, a lot of plugins that we probably got, bootleg. I don't know. You didn't hear that. But anyway, everybody's been there before. But when I got Cakewalk, and when I really started using Cakewalk myself, I really got custom using Cakewalk. So I have the version of In Your Face for the Pro channel, $10, check it out, justthenorm.com, and plug that in. Where's my website? Is my website on here? Caption. All right, there it is. Guess I don't have it on here. Well, I can put my link tree up because you can connect with me there, and then that'll take you to the website, but it's justthenorm.com. And let me go back to, where was I at? Chat. There we go. Chat. There we go. All right. Sometimes it's a weird maneuver and all this stuff. So I use Waves. And then when I got with Cakewalk, I really started doing stuff by myself. I like the plugins in Cakewalk. So I have my version of In Your Face for the Pro channel using all stock plugins in Cakewalk. But it's kind of weird. I almost like it better than the Waves version. You didn't hear me say that. But the Waves version is great. It's just I'm still tweaking it. So, but anyway, the good thing about it is if you buy the vocal preset, whenever I bring out a change or a change to that particular preset, I'm going to make sure that you get the updated version, so you don't have to worry about that. Because I might still tweak it a little bit. But anyway, even though this is just a preset, just know that preset means that, yeah, it's set before you need to change anything. So it's basic, foundational, but you may need to adjust things, all right? You say, I just record. Okay. So, yeah, you might need to go about adjusting some things. Like you might say, hey, man, there's too much highs on it. Well, then you could go into the EQ and bring the highs down some, Or you might say, oh, it's too much, too much of compression. You could go in there and adjust the compression. So don't feel like you stuck to what's here. This is just kind of a way to give you a foundation. So anyway, this is what, turn that off. This is what the vocal sounds like before. This is the lead vocal. All right, so let me get to the verse. I lost my way somewhere in another galaxy. Too much to take these memories and then tragedy. Now, I'm going to tell you, this performance could have been a lot better vocal-wise for me if I had the song memorized, because I was trying to look at words, and it was crazy. I don't know. Trying to look at words and trying to make sure I'm saying it the right way. So, got the Gralian. Put that, I'm sorry, turn that back on. And the studio rack, and then this is what it sounds like now. I lost my way somewhere in another galaxy. Too much to take these memories and then tragedy. Okay, so very bright, kind of, nasally. That's kind of my voice, but the only issue that I had probably with using this particular preset, and nothing against me, but is that I had to add more bottom to this particular recording for some reason. And because when I would record it, I wasn't normally when you record to get the body of a dynamic mic like this, you need to be right in the mic. Condenser mic kind of picks up from wherever, so which is good. But this, if you're way up here and you're singing, kind of like I was, then you get more You get more nasality, you get more of the room, you get more brighter tone. You don't really get the body of the microphone. So I had to add body back into it. So one of the things I had to do is boost to 200 to 300 hertz range to get more body. So, it's a simple move to try to get it. But like I said, still in awe, it still kind of sounds very bright and nasal. But it works for now. Okay, so brother boldly music. Okay, you said I make ad lib left ear and ad lib right ear. Yeah, so yeah, you can stereo pan it. That's what I did with all the background vocals. So the pad that you heard earlier, the harmonies, they're panned left and right, so doubled. And the lead vocals, of course, in the center. So there's two tracks for the lead. There's lead and there's lead. Now, once again, I didn't get a chance to name any of them. So this lead is for the verse, and then this lead is for the chorus. I really didn't need to put this on a separate track. I just put it on a separate track anyway, because they're mixed the same way. So this studio, but I think I did kind of tweak this one a little bit. So this studio rack, once I got it set the way I wanted on his one, I just copied it right up to the second track. It's just that I recorded the first track first, and then once I did all the little background parts, then I came back and did the second part. So that's that part. And then the track 2 is there. So let's go to the chorus, this is called effects, but it's really not effects. That's just what it was called originally, because I created this track to bring effects while I was tracking, so while I was recording, so that way I can kind of hear effects, but not actually record or print the effects, if that makes sense. For musicians, I think this is good to know. Eating mushrooms are good for your ears. I'm gonna have to try that. Another good thing is good for your ears is to stop listening to music so loud, you know? Like even when you're mixing, you know, shoot, turn that sucker down. If you can get stuff to sound good at a low volume, it's going to be fat when you turn it up. Because when we keep everything loud, first of all, it just makes your ears more fatigued. And then everything sounds better louder. That's just, you know, that's number one rule of mixing audio or listening to audio. Same way when you're in your stereo. It's like you turn it down and you still can hear it. Like, you know, it's thumping, but it's at a low volume. You're like, yeah. But when you crank that sucker because you're trying to hear your car vibrate while you're driving, well, that's cool and all. But, yeah, it's just only blowing your eardrums up. So we can hear. Good. All right, effects.
Healing energy on me.
Okay. So very strong. Left, right. What's on here? Okay, so these 2 tracks are being sent. They're left and right, and then I recorded them twice. Another trick that you can do is if you like the way you recorded something and you don't want to you don't want to sing it again, or you don't want to play it again, you can always just copy that part, duplicate it to another track, and then what you do is you use a nudge technique. I like to use this a lot. So I'll nudge I'll nudge this track here to the left some, and then I'll nudge this one to the right some, and then go doing that. Make sure I Control Z though, 'cause I don't want it to mess up. Anyway, but you can nudge it that way, and then it'll make it seem, still stereo, because what happens if you just copy it? If you just copy it, it's going to seem louder, but it's still going to be, even if you pan it left and right, it's not going to sound left and right. So you can make your vocals like be in the center, and then as you pan them left and right, even if you pan them left and right, the more you spread them apart, the more stereo width it's going to have. So it's amazing effect. So you can try that. What's the other channel? Which channel? The EFX. So both of these are that, and then the melody, of course, is the guitar part. And then I got to get down to these other parts down here at the bottom. So for the effects, I have it going to bus E, and I didn't get a chance to name bus E, but anyway, bus E is Sonitis equalizer. Doing a little high boost there. Now, actually, originally, earlier, I just did this earlier, I boosted the highs a little bit on this because I felt like the background vocals like when it get to the chorus was a little dull. So I just brought them up a little bit more, little high chef. And then I'm using the CLA. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't freeze up on me. So far the audio is cool because, man, like one time Restream was just tripping. Shoot. So anyway, so of course you heard that.
Healing energy on me.
Okay, and of course you can hear that I got that delay on there on me. All right, and then see that's that. It's just called effects. It's really not what it is. It should be called like chorus left and right, or chorus background rather. Got the melody part, which is a guitar part again. And then, like I said, when I copied this part, this is another part that I added at the top. I just copied this melody track, which I have here too as well. So all of these are called melody, and that's only because I didn't name them. So this is another harmony stack, which comes on 1111, which is where it says. So here's the let's hear this part first. That part and this part. No, not that part. No, not this part. This part. Okay, sorry.
Healing energy on me.
Okay, so I got this, the bass chorus too as well. I forgot I got twice. So this is Barry chorus, bass chorus. I think I have these, the harmonies are different on here, but they start off in octaves and then they branch off. So
healing energy on me. Healing energy on me.
Okay, and then it changes.
Healing energy on me. When it's 11:11, I need it.
Okay, so you can hear, you know, Windows 11 and Windows 11. All right, so Windows 11. So I just got this one. This bass chorus is panning to the right. This one is panning to the left. Now, that time, I didn't decide to, I don't know why I didn't do it, but I should have probably dubbed both of these parts again, but I didn't. I just kept them single. So let's hear these harmony parts, which are basically just same thing, answer and responding. So we got melody. It is 11, 11. Yeah, and I added that part last because I just wanted. So it says 11, 11, right? So you got to sing the 11th of the chord. And this chord is F sharp minor 9. So I'm singing the 11th, which would be B natural. So I just decided to add that in there. 11, 11. Okay, but turn that down, Michi. And then, it is 11, 11. Yeah, so now that one says when it's 11. The other one just says 11, 11. So those two together. It is 11, 11. I need it. Okay, and then this one is, see what this sounds like. It is 11, 11. I need it. Okay, and then you'll notice that I need it. So 2 tracks do that. I need it. But the other one says I need it. So it's like, you know, a little tail end on there. A little flip. What is that called in music? I forgot. Anyway, my music theory is slipping me, but sometimes you can do that. Like you hear that like one part, you know, same part, but want to be slightly a little different. It's 11, 11. I need it. Okay. 11, 11. All right. And then this part, 11. I think it's 11, 11. Okay. So now that's the same part. Did I put the 11, 11? I think I got that in here somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember. It's 11, 11. I need it. Yeah. 11, 11. I need it. And then you add that with the other parts. So, yeah, melody. No, we need that effects. So that's that.
Energy on me. It's 11, 11. I need it. Healing energy.
She needs what? She needs what? What's the question? Healing energy on me. That's what it says. Didn't hear the 11th. The 11th is right here, that note at the top, which is right here. It's on track 6. It's 11, 11. So 11, 11. So that's the 11th. So the chord is F sharp minor 9, but I'm just adding the 11th. But it's really a 4th. So it's really the 4th, but which is the 11th. So I don't have it actually in the octave of 11th. But when I say 11th, I'm just adding it an octave lower. So you hear 11, 11
on me. It's 11, 11. I need it.
I think she's saying she needs it. So yeah, no, I mean this is from Chris Brown. So this is Chris Brown's song. So it's singing to a girl. You know, healing energy is what I need. You know, kind of like sexual healing, basically. That's what it's kind of talking about. Yeah, the 4, yeah. I hear that, yeah. Yeah, and I just decided to add that at the last time. So, and then there's other harmonies that come in. Well, not other harmonies, but there's a melody too as well. So let's hear it from there, which is the lead part. Let's hear this part. And you can hear that.
Baby, can you make a wish for me? Healing energy on me. Oh, and it's 11, 11. I need it.
You said, thought it was a female. Didn't know it was Chris Brown. Yeah, this is a Chris Brown song. I just did a cover of it. That's all. But this is actually me. So, but yeah, I'm singing. Yeah. So, and then I think that's all the parts, you all. So, talk about did I do? So on these parts, and this is what I realized earlier. I didn't add these melody parts or this background part to anything. And I was just realizing, I didn't add it to a bus. I really should have processed it differently to a bus. So it's just coming. I don't even know. Does it have effects on it?
It is 11.
Yeah, it doesn't have any effects or anything on it, you know, and I hadn't even realized that until I was listening to it earlier. I was like, dang, you didn't process those at all. But it's okay because I'm just going to keep it that way. Sometimes you don't have to process stuff, right? Some of these I didn't even pan. Well, I panned them somewhat, but it's cool. So let's listen to the whole thing. Well, if you've already you probably saw the video. I released like a little short of this, which you can see my bad lip singing. But anyway, yeah. Oh, I still had that on too as well. I don't need that. So here's this. I'm gonna turn this down so I feel like it's so loud. An actual 11 would be a female type part. That's pretty high. I can hit that though. I mean, if I want to. Healing. I mean, that's easy in my range, but yeah, I like cluster chords, so I really like chords that you remember on this other song I was working on. I like chords I like that tight jazz harmony. I like stuff being open, but I really like cluster chords, like that. I love that crap, having that. It just does something. That tension, and then when it releases, it's amazing. I love it. So that's why I put it close like that. I could have sung an octave higher. Oh, and then the other thing too as well, I kind of want the melody to be on top. So whenever you're doing, well, it depends on your flavor. Like some stuff, you want the melody to either be in the center and all the other notes sandwiched around it, or you want the melody to be on the top and everything below it. Yeah, I love that crap. Tight clusters, boy, I love it. So anyway,
I lost my way somewhere in another galaxy. Too much to take these memories and then tragedy. And all of these places and all of these faces, I don't wanna let you down. And all the mistakes of mine, I can replace it. I gotta move on somehow. Healing energy on me. Baby, all I really need is one thing.
I love Take 6.
Healing energy on me. Baby, can you make a wish for me? Healing energy on me. Oh, in this 11, I need it. Healing energy on me. Baby, can you make a wish for me?
All right, so and that's that. I'm gonna do more covers like this, but it's always good. The main reason why it's good to do covers is because if you're trying to go for, like if you're trying to be a person that gets that creative, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but creative decision to say, hey, I want to make a song just like how Stevie Wonder would. Well, let me get the instrumentation the right way, and let me, okay, what kind of drums was he using? I can't get the exact drums, but I mean, I can probably say, oh, let's emulate that, or the vocals. If I'm singing a Barry White song, which is really not my range, how can I go about making this more interesting? So it's good to cover things. It just definitely teaches you another way of looking at production, period, and just being creative. Especially if you're covering, like, you're a male and you're covering female songs. That's dope. For stuff that you can't hit, I see a lot of people use like Little Altar Boy or other plugins or even transpose to make you hit a note that you can't hit. So like if it was something that was really, really low, like I was talking about earlier, if I was, if I'm way down there and I know I can't hit those notes, well, but I can hit this though, but I can't hit this though. I can't hit that. I mean, I can hit it, but not, good enough to sing it. I can sing right here, and I can use an effect to bring me down here, or I can use a pitch shifter to bring me down there too as well, especially with Melodyne and stuff. Dude, I mean, it's just crazy what you can do with vocals. I mean, like, you can just do some crazy things nowadays. I mean, you can literally be a person that could not sing anywhere in key, be in multiple keys, and they can take your note, adjust the vibrato, bring it down, adjust your diphthong, just all kind of aspects of the voice to make it sound like you really sung that part the right way. But anyway, this is just, it's phenomenal to do this stuff, you all. So I hope you're a person that says, hey man, I got to get into this thing, and just take it baby steps. Like I said, no production or no songwriting or anything that you do, it might not be your best the first time. It might be something that you got to work on. It might be something that you like pull your hair out. I don't have hair, but if you got hair, you might pull the rest of your hair out because you can't get the mix right, or you can't get the drums right, or you can't figure out how the verse goes, or whatever. Take your time. Don't be afraid to start multiple projects. Oh, I do it all the time. I start one project and I don't finish it. I go to another one. But don't be afraid to say, you know what? I'm tired of this song right now. Let me save and let me shut this sucker down and go to another program, or go to another project and get started on something else. Don't be afraid to do that. You all? Well, it's their time, right? I mean, I feel like I've been on here for 2 hours, but well, that's because I was on the phone for 15 minutes too as well before this. But it's only been an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to go and call it quits. And we're going out of town, and this is spring break, so I'm looking forward to that. Look forward to the video that's coming out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. It should be on stem separation, this particular software that's going to allow you to take a song. Now, make sure it's a song that's yours, or a song that you have permission to use, okay? Because I don't want you just taking copywritten music. But you can take a song and then you can actually stem separate it, by the vocals, separated by the drums, the bass, and then you can take that and retweak it. So I got a video that's going to drop out about that. Posting every day this week. Are they all going to be related to Cakewalk? No, they're not all going to be related to Cakewalk, but I will be posting the video every day this week. So Saturday and Sunday are the only ones that I'm kind of unsure about what I want to post. So Saturday, if you got any ideas on what I should post, like either comment here or comment on a post. I did put a post out, community post, so you comment on that post. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Do I have that on here? No, I don't. Okay. Wow. Okay, nothing else on here. Yeah. Oh, and if you want to do some emailing for mixing, do that. So, and then other than that, remember this. Just start. Just get started. All right, I think that's it, you all. All right, I love you all. Take care. Peace.